Hi everyone, and welcome to Squirrel Pie Productions, my podcast about knitting, spinning, and sewing. My name is Tommy, and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Dynamite Trujillo. Welcome to episode 47 of my podcast. I have been gone for a couple weeks, so I kind of am forgetting what to say. But anyway, today is a really nice but cold, wintry Friday in December on the Northern California coast, where I'm coming to you from. I'm also distracted by a cat because Squirrel has decided to join us, even though you can't quite see her. Come here. Okay. Anyway. What now? What do I say now? Thank you for being here. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for checking out my podcast. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so very much for coming back. I love that you're here. I love that you're watching. Thank you so much for being here with me. Today is kind of my Christmas episode, I guess. I've got my Christmas tree. I've got a fire going in the background because it is cold. I have got my Santa mug. And yeah, let's get going with it. It's hard to do this every 2 weeks. Man, I told you I was going to go to like an every 2 week kind of schedule for a little while, but you kind of forget what to do in between. So, let's hope I didn't forget anything. Anyway, yeah, I'm in like a whole different location because I really wanted the tree and the fire and everything in this episode, so that's what we got today. We're in my living room instead of my office. So, first on this episode, what I want to do is announce the winner for the 1 year Podiversary giveaway. Last episode, we celebrated 1 year at Squirrel Pie Productions, and I had a thread in the Ravelry group. That's the other thing. We have a Ravelry group for this podcast that you should go check out and join if you haven't yet, because that is where you'll find show notes for this week and all past weeks' episodes. Anyway, in my show notes, you'll find links to everything I talk about in these here podcasts. So, I had a thread open in the Ravelry group for the last 2 weeks where I wanted you to tell me about your favorite whip that you were working on, and the winner for that was drawn randomly this morning, and the winner is going to win a skein of Moonstone Dye Works, which is my hand-dyed yarn company, in the winner's choice of regular colorway. So like I said, I drew for that this morning. The winner of the 1 year Podiversary giveaway was post number 80, who is Idaho Angie. Congratulations, Idaho Angie. You are knitting the Yggdrasil mitts, and I am so happy that you gave me the opportunity to say the name of that pattern one more time on the podcast, because I love saying it. It's fun. And the Yggdrasil mitts is a fingerless mitt pattern by Ellie of Skein Deer Knits. And if you haven't checked it out yet, you should. I knit a pair and they were amazing. So congratulations, Angie. Message me on Ravelry and let me know what colorway you would like, and we can figure out from there what to do. So yay, congratulations, Angie. I'm really happy you're making those mitts because they are awesome. Next up, I am going to announce my next knit along. We have been knit along lists for a little while, and that is ending now because I have decided that I need a knit along to motivate me to knit some pattern socks. I keep talking about how I want to knit socks that are not vanilla socks, and I keep not doing it because I am lazy and I need the motivation of a knit along. I want to see all you guys knitting along with me. So what this knit along is going to be, it's a pattern sock knit along. So anything that isn't vanilla socks. That's it. Anything that isn't vanilla socks counts. We're going to have a knit along that runs from right now all the way through to the end of January. So you have a little while to think about what you want to do, get some socks cast on, and yeah, there'll be a chatter thread and an FO thread in the Ravelry group. And is that it? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Whips are welcome. You can, no matter when you started it, as long as you finish during the time of the cow, we are good. I have not started anything for it yet. I gotta think about what I want to do. As I've talked about in the past couple episodes, there are quite a few pattern socks that I really want to make. And there are also a couple of pattern socks that I've made in the past that are really easy to gravitate back to because they're so simple and so easy. For example, the Hermione's Everyday Socks. Those socks are so fantastic. I just loved knitting them. I've knit one pair, so I might do that, but I might venture into the other patterned socks that I really want to knit. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But get on board with that knit along. There are going to be some fantastic prizes that we will get into later. And I hope you can join me in making some patterned socks, in breaking our vanilla sock run, because I need to do that, because all I've knit for a while is vanilla socks. And yeah, okay. Okay, it is hot sitting right in front of the fire, so I'm taking this off. This, by the way, is my Anissa shawl. This is a shawl. This Christmas tree thing might be, I keep bumping it. This Anissa shawl is a shawl that I knit quite a while ago. It's a pattern by Amba O'Brien, and it is knit out of my handspun. It is, what is it? Southern Cross Fibers in like the Paris colorway or something like that. And that was some handspun that I spun. And I striped it with some Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the, what's it called colorway? Gossamer colorway, which is the light gray. My handspun is the dark gray. And Gossamer is like one of my favorite Madeline Tosh colorways of all time. It's a really pale, kind of lavender tinted gray. Really pale. So that's what I'm wearing, but I'm hot now. So, and this is my Agnes dress. Let's talk about some FOs. I have one FO. I finished my knee-high socks, and here they are. Ah, look at them. They're so big. So these are some knee-high socks knit out of Moonstone Dye Works in the BFL sock base in the, they have cat hair on them, in the Moon Age Daydream colorway. So this is what she looks like, and I love her. It just keeps going on and on and on. So I did not use a pattern for these. I kind of winged it as I went, and they worked out perfectly. They fit so well. I am in love with them. I was lucky enough to be able to get the whole pair of socks out of one skein, one 100-gram skein of yarn. And that's because I'm a pretty short person with small feet. So your mileage may vary, but I will tell you what I did with these, and hopefully I will put the details of what I did in my project notes on Ravelry, which has not happened yet and may not happen for a little while because, again, I'm lazy and I seem to never actually do that, but I really want to, so hopefully I do. But here's what I did. I cast on, with a size 0 needle, I cast on 60 stitches at the cuff, and then about here I switched to a size 1. If I were to redo it, I would have just cast on with a size 1. But anyway, 2x2 ribbing, I made a really, really long cuff. And then I had 60 stitches, no wait, I am wrong. I cast on 64 stitches. Anyway, so I had 64 stitches all up around here, which is about right where my calf started to taper in. I started slowly decreasing back down to 56 stitches, which was my normal stitch count. And I just did 56 stitches all the way till I got to the heel. Heel is my standard heel flap and gusset, which I love. The foot is my rounded toe with the Kitchener finish, which I also love. You can find instructions for how I do that toe in my Pandora Socks project notes, which are up on Ravelry. So yeah, that's how I did these. Mostly on a size 1, little bit on a size 0 at the very tip of the cuff. And I've got 2 bad boys, and I love them. Seriously, I love them so much. I love this colorway. I think it's really pretty. It's just this awesome, in my opinion, combination of pale pinks, hot pinks. It's like fluorescent greeny yellow and purple and teal, and I just think this is such a cool colorway. It's one of my very favorite colorways. And they fit really good. They come up just below my knee, and they stay up really well. They're nice and snug, but not too tight. And if I want to, I can scrunch them down, and they kind of stay that way for, you know, your nice 80s aerobic workout kind of look. So I'm super happy that these are done. These are my 13th pair in my box of socks. Bam! I totally finished my box of socks and went beyond. I am so happy about that. And later in the episode, I am going to go through and show you my whole box of socks. This does not even fit in my box of socks because the box of socks is at capacity at 12 pairs. So after today, after I show them all to you, they're all coming out of the box and going into my sock bin so that I can start wearing them again, because for the first half of the year or so, I was just wearing them. I wasn't actually keeping them in the box. But some of my pairs I have not worn yet, so I'm really excited to get those out of there and in my sock drawer or bin or whatever. I have a sock bin. It's like one of those fabric bins that you can use as drawers in those cubby hole shelves. I keep all my handmade socks in one of those, and it's actually really annoying because they're all just thrown in there. And I don't like, you know, put them together like you would store-bought socks, like where you roll them together. I don't do that. They all just live loose in there. So whenever I want to wear them, I have to dig through, find what I want, find the matching sock. And it's really not that... I just can't think of a better way to store my hand-knit socks right now. What I want to do is just have a whole drawer in my dresser with hand-knit socks where I actually like take a pair and roll them up and they all kind of sit in there nice and neat so that I can see them all and pick one and have a pair. But my dresser is really small and I don't have room for that. Anyway, that's a tangent. Finished object, so happy with these. I absolutely am in love with them. Oh, do I have it in here? Okay, so I had a tiny bit of yarn left over and I may have it. Yay, I do. Okay, so here's the yarn I had left over. And I think this is pretty dang good. This is like freaking probably 10 grams of yarn left. So I'm stoked. I'm so happy to know that I can knit a whole pair of knee-high socks out of one skein of yarn and not play yarn chicken. So I definitely want to do that again. I really like the knee-high sock thing, like a lot. So I highly encourage you to make knee-high socks if you want to. You know, like I said, I didn't use a pattern, so I can't recommend any, but what I did was went up from my standard stitch count to the next standard size stitch count and started from there, and then just decreased evenly at my calf tapering point. And that seemed to work really well for me. From there, I just treated it as a regular top-down sock. So I hope you have the same luck that I did if you decide to make them. I really think you should. They're super fun. So on to my works in progress. I don't have many this week. I honestly have been in a little bit of a knitting slump. It's been so sad. But I just like, I don't know, it's been really busy lately. I know, I'm so busy, but poor me. But anyway, it's been busy and I've been like so tired with like, yesterday was the solstice, by the way. I love the solstices so very much. If I did celebrate, I'm not a real holiday person. I mean, says the girl sitting next to the Christmas tree. I love holidays, but the ones that I actually like really think are important to me personally are kind of the lunar markers throughout the year, the solstices and the equinoxes. They speak to me. They speak to me. And yesterday was the solstice, and happy solstice, happy day after solstice. It is going to start getting longer our days from now on. So that's been a part of it. Like, it's been so dark when I get home from work, and it's just, I don't know, my knitting mojo has just been kind of lately. So I don't have that much, but I do have some good stuff to show you. My first work in progress is living in my Knit More Along Grinch bag, which I adore. I love the Grinch cartoon so much. We haven't watched it yet this year, but we're gonna watch it this weekend. It's another thing. I've been unmotivated with like everything lately. Usually in December we watch like a ton of Christmas movies. This year we've only watched one, and it was last night. I finally got up the energy to like not fall asleep at like 8 o'clock and watch a Christmas movie. And we watched Bad Santa 2, I think it was. I think that was what it was called. I don't know. It was funny. I don't know. It was funny. the Christmas movie that I really want to watch is, we're going to watch that this weekend too. We each kind of pick the ones we want to watch, and that's the one my husband wanted to watch. This weekend, the one I want to watch, I actually don't even know what it's called, but it's the one, it's so bad. It's the one with Queen Latifah, where she gets a, like, what do you call it? A diagnosis, a medical diagnosis where she only has like a month to live. And so she spends the last month of her life. It's around Christmas time and she's just like lives it up. That's the Christmas movie I picked. So we're going to watch that this weekend. Anyway. Where is this going, you guys? I don't even know what I'm talking about this episode. My pair of socks that I'm working on right now are being knit out of Moonstone Dyeworks in the Christmas on Mars colorway, which is one of my 2 Christmas colorways this year. I adore it. It is on my Stellina sock base, and I'm just super, super into these, you guys. They are so messy. Let's see what I can do here. So, here we go. This is a 56 stitch count sock, 2x2 ribbing. And I am on well, I've done the heel flap, I've done the heel turn. So next up, I just have to pick up my stitches along the heel flap sides here, do my gusset decreases, and then I'm onto the foot. But this is what the yarn looks like knit up, and I adore it. I'm so into it, I love it. And something I did differently with this sock, and something I've been thinking about doing for a while, is the way I used to knit vanilla socks, just consistently, my formula, was cast on and do the ribbing with a size 0 and then do a size 1 for the rest of the sock. I've decided to go up and just do a 1 for the entire sock, including the cast on, including the ribbing. And because I like tall socks, so I kind of want that extra room where my calf starts to get wider, because I like it when my socks can go up that far and not be tight. So I'm trying that out. I think it's going to work really well. We'll see. And I am knitting these on my Chiaogu mini twist interchangeables on the size 1. I love these needles so very much. I have, since I started purchasing these, which was maybe a couple months ago, I have purchased 3 different size cords, the size 0 tip, the size 1, and the size 1.5 tip. And I think that's going to have me covered for all my sock needs from now on. I'm so stoked. And it's really nice too, because my regular interchangeable set that I use, which are my Hayas, they go down to a size 2, which is great. So now I have another interchangeable set that I also love that is kind of like the next set of sizes smaller than that. So I really, really like having these needles a whole lot. I'm a total convert. Before I was using Haya fixed circular needles for my magic looping needs. And I still really love those, but I'm just like totally in love with these right now. So yeah, these are coming along. I worked on these while I saw the new Star Wars movie. I mean, it was freaking awesome. I'm not going to talk much more about it, but it was. Okay, so Christmas on Mars. I am knitting these for the Socks and Space Cow, being hosted by the Pin Feathers and Pearls podcast and the Cherry Pearls podcast. I actually don't know if it's still going on. I think it's been going on for a while, so it might be over by now. Check out those threads if you're interested. Don't listen to me when it comes to stuff like that, because I participate in other people's knit-alongs all willy-nilly, and I don't really follow the rules. Anyway, I am liking working on these very, very much, but it's been 2 weeks and I've only gotten like the leg and the heel done, so I haven't been working on them that much. What I have been working very hard on, and honestly, maybe what's killing my knitting mojo right now, yeah, it's the Brownstone pullover. It is this beast, and it is a Christmas present from my mother's boyfriend. Today is December 22nd. And Christmas is on the 25th. I don't believe they're gonna visit me until maybe the day after Christmas. I still don't know exactly yet. But I don't think they're gonna be here exactly on Christmas. So I have a few days to finish this. And I'm so close. I'm so almost done, you guys. So almost done. Okay, so this is the Brownstone pullover. It is a Brooklyn tweed pattern written by Jared Flood. I am knitting it out of Cascade 220 Superwash in the navy colorway and the silver gray colorway. It is a Cowboys inspired sweater. Cowboys, the football team that is. And check it, you guys. It's a freaking sweater. So it is done, pretty much. The body of the sweater is done. It's all attached. The raglan decreases are done, which the raglan decreases on this thing killed me. I just like hated it. I don't know why. But it was so not fun. And I like every time I had time to knit or I had like energy to knit, I made myself work on this thing, and I think it made me not want to knit. I think it may have been a part of what killed my knitting mojo these past couple weeks. But anyway, I'm almost done. So I finished the complete body. I bound off. I picked up stitches for the shawl collar. So pretty much this whole part here was all open. I picked up stitches all the way around, and I'm doing this 2x2 ribbing for the shawl collar. And right now what I'm doing is short rows. So pretty much I picked up stitches all the way down here, but I'm just kind of up here working back and forth, going out a little more and out a little more every time until I get down here. And then I'll start working straight back and forth. And then after a couple inches of that, I'm done. You bind off, you weave in your ends. I still have to duplicate stitch on a silver star for the Cowboys logo. I don't even know how to duplicate stitch. I have to look it up. I have to learn how to duplicate the stitch. I don't know. It's not that hard, I'm sure. And then I have to block it. Luckily, it's winter time, and we have a fire going every night in our house this time of year, so it should dry pretty quickly. And I'm so close to being done. And you know what? It's actually really weird. I picked up the stitches for the shawl collar like last night. It was just last night. And I'm already like kind of that far done on it, and I'm enjoying the collar more than I think I've enjoyed any other part of this whole sweater. So that feels really good. That feels really good. I'm almost done, so I'm motivated. I'm working on a part of it that I actually enjoy. So I'm so close. And then when I'm done with this thing, I get to pick up my sweater that I've been knitting for myself that I still haven't finished. I'm so stoked, you guys. I cannot wait to get this thing off the needles. So I really, really hope I can show you guys what this looks like totally finished and blocked. By calculations and stuff, it will be gone and out of my hands by the next time I record. But hopefully I record a little bit of footage before it leaves me. This thing totally done. Maybe even with him wearing it. I don't know. I hope it fits. Have I said that before? I hope it fits because he's not here to try it on. He's a big guy and he's a tall guy. I'm making the extra large size. He is tall and big. And I'm hoping it's long enough because the bottom up sweater. I did add a couple inches to the body. So hopefully, I don't know. I hope it fits. It'll fit. It'll be fine. So that's my Brownstone. I am knitting it on my high sharps on a USA 6 from my interchangeable set. And here's a progress keeper. Super cute little snowflake. Amanda from Dyer Bay Yarns gave that to me. Thank you, Amanda. And yeah. Here's the yarn I have left. So this is my second to last ball, and it's almost gone. And I have one more full ball after that. So I think I purchased the perfect amount of yarn, if I do say so myself. Here's the silver gray. I have a ton of this left. And this is actually a really nice color, so that'll be nice to have some leftovers to do something with. Fat Squirrel Speaks project bag. Okay. So close. You guys don't even know how excited I am. You probably know how excited I am because I'm babbling about it. Okay, so my last work in progress is the only thing these past couple weeks that I have actually wanted to work on. This is the only thing I can get excited about right now. It's so funny how this comes in and out of my life. But it is the Granny Stripe crochet blanket. Yep, she is back in my life. And like I said, I've been kind of losing my knitting mojo a little bit. And when that started to happen, I was like, okay, what can I do? I don't want to just sit here and do nothing. What sounds good? And this sounded good. And so I started working on it again. And it's seriously the only thing that has like been able to make me happy craft-wise these past 2 weeks at all. And it's been making me really happy. I've been loving working on it so much. So this is how big it is. It's getting pretty big. I'm like so excited about it. Here's the progress keeper that has been living on it. It doesn't really keep my progress. It just kind of sits there and makes me happy. It's a donut by Sucra Miniatures. And it's wide enough to fit over and drape down just a little bit of the sides of a queen-size bed. I chained on 300-ish stitches, if I remember correctly. I did not use the pattern that many other people have used for this thing, which is the Attic 24 pattern. I looked at that, and I am not a crocheter, so I saw all the words, and it did not make sense to me. So what I used was a YouTube tutorial, which was amazingly good, and it's how I learned how to do this, so I will link that in the show notes if you're interested in checking that out. This thing has just been so good to me these past 2 weeks, just like so good. So pretty much where I was before was about right here. So I've done all of this in the past couple weeks. And I pretty much this whole section, this yellow at the top down to, I would say maybe this pink here is all Beehive Yarns mini skeins. I bought a set of her mini skeins a pretty good while ago, and I used them all in here. And I used them all down to the end. I wound a magic cake with all of them up, and I just used them all in here, and it was so fun. I loved her yarn so much. The top 3-ish rows are, 4 rows are Moonstone Dye Works in various colorways that I have knit with recently and from my leftovers. The one that I'm working on now is Undead, which was my Halloween colorway. And that's what she looks like. Those are my leftovers from my Undead socks. Coming up next, I've got my leftovers from my Maya's Mamaluker shorts. And I keep this whole thing in this like fake leather mint green bag that I got free from ModCloth, I think. I'm using this tulip hook. It is a 3.5 millimeter. And I really, really dig it. I love that it's pink. I love that it's got the soft-ish kind of ergonomic handle. And all of my kind of scraps and minis that I am intending to go in this thing are living in one of my Christmas gifts that my husband got for me quite a few years ago, my Sexy Campers bag. And I love it. He bought this from the Leading Men Fiber Arts website. Long time ago. And I've just got a bunch of stuff in here. That's all waiting to go into this blanket. And I'm like really grateful to this blanket because like it's been like comfort crocheting. And I don't even like crochet. Crocheting's not even like my thing. Knitting's my thing. But knitting just has like not been calling to me lately. I don't know what it is. I mean, I think I do. I think it's the sweater. But I have been just freaking loving working on this thing so much. I adore it. Adore it. So that was my last whip. That is probably the funnest thing I've done in a while. That's everything I've been working on these past couple weeks. And you want to see my box of socks? I think I'll show you my box of socks now. Okay, there we go. All right, just put another log on the fire. and we are ready to go. You ready for it? My box of socks is living in my pusheen box. So I totally stole this idea from Candace of the Pin, Feathers, and Pearls podcast. This box is from the, I don't even know what it's called, Pusheen Club or something. It's called Pusheen Box. So Pusheen is cat. It's an animated cat, and he's the best. He loves to eat pizza and be lazy. So, I am 10 years old, so I love things like Pusheen, where it's just like a character and they put them on stationery and t-shirts and jewelry and stuff. So you can sign up for a Pusheen box where like every quarter you get a box filled with just crap with Pusheen on it. And I don't have like a subscription or anything. I got one box for my birthday, and then I bought the next box after that, which was the fall box, which was fall of this year. So that's the box that I'm using for my box of socks because it's adorable. It's got feet on the bottom. Those are cat feet. Anyway, you ready to see the socks that are inside? Here they are. There is my box of socks. I've got 12 fabulous pairs of socks, how about that, in this box. And I'm going to show you what they are right now. So, they are not in order. I'm just going to grab them, and here we go. First pair of socks that I'm showing you is a cheater pair because these technically don't qualify for the box of socks, but I'm not actually entering, so I don't care. These are some hand spun socks. They're about a DK weight. I knit these this year. Yeah, I don't remember. I think it's maybe Into the World fiber. And it's a really thick, really ropey hand spun, and I made some really thick, really cozy socks out of it. My next pair of socks is some Fiber Nymph Dye Works. And these are a pair of vanilla socks. Fiber Nymph Dye Works in the, it's like 12 More Weeks colorway or something like that. I knit these while I was in Hawaii in February. My next pair of socks are some Hey Holly Ho Hum vanilla socks in the Frankly Lisa colorway. I believe these were one of my first pairs of socks I knit on the podcast, possibly. Come on. My next pair of socks are my Undead Halloween socks. This is Moonstone Dye Works in the Undead colorway. And this is another pair of vanilla socks, and I love them so much. My next pair is Jinx Yarns in her Strong Sport Base. So this is a sport weight sock, another cheater pair. And this is in the Grainbow colorway, which is a colorway I had lusted after for a very long time and finally got, and I love it. Self-striping in these like beautiful muted rainbow colors. Yeah, perfect. My next pair of socks are my Heroine socks. These are a pair of socks that I knit with some of my well, it wasn't Moonstone Dye Works yet. It was just my hand-dyed yarn. It was kind of when I was first experimenting with hand dyeing, and I dyed up this skein of yarn, the silver gray skein, with some other colors in there, and I called it Carol after the book The Price of Salt, The Price of Salt, The Price of Salt, and the movie Carol. And I love that book. So I named this yarn after her, and then this was also a little mini that I dyed, just a purple. And these are Hermione's Everyday Socks, and I loved knitting these. My first pair of Hermione's Everyday Socks, and I'm definitely going to knit more of these. My next pair of socks are my, shoot, what are these called again? Can I remember? So this was a pattern released by Becky Sorensen earlier this year, and they're the Taunus socks. Yeah, I remembered. These are the Taunus socks, and these are knit in Space Cadet yarns in the Gentle colorway. It's a really soft pink. My Next pair of socks are my Pandora socks. This is some Wool and Vine yarns. And this, oh, is this? This is also the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. I've knit two. I forgot, I guess. And I love these socks really a lot too, because these are like my best fitting socks ever. These are some of the ones that I've worn already, and they fit really well. And I think it's the pearls in the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern that make it fit so good. My next pair of socks is the very first skein of hand-dyed yarn that I dyed at home. And it's this. So this never got a colorway name, and I only dyed one skein of it, and that's what it looks like. And I knit some socks out of it, and they have my hair on them. There we go. They are vanilla socks too. The rest of them are vanilla. So my next pair, this is pair number 10, by the way. These are some stranded dye works, and it is the Reef Dive colorway from Stranded Dye Works. And I so awesomely got this in a swap package with my swap partner from earlier this year, Lucy, who also sent me a Christmas card. Thank you so much, Lucy. And hold on, where is it? I'm going to show you. Ah, it's up there. She also made me a Christmas ornament that is a sheep, and it is awesome, and I love it so much, but it is way over there, so I'm not going to get it for you, but thank you, Lucy. And she sent me this yarn, and I made this pair of socks out of it. My next pair of socks are my floating socks. This is another Moonstone Dye Works vanilla sock, and I made this with my leftovers from my this is a memory test here, you guys. That Stephen Wash shawl that I knit. It was a crescent shaped shawl. Exploration Station. This is my leftovers from my Exploration Station. And I've got some contrasting gray heels in these, and I love them. My last pair of socks are the very last ones that you saw on the podcast. My Whiskey Bet and Hellbound socks. And this is another pair of vanilla socks from Lollipop Yarns. That was pair number 12. This is pair number 13. I did it. I'm actually really surprised that I did it, because that is the most pairs of socks that I've knit in a year ever. I've never knit that many pairs of socks before, but I was into it this year. And I'm pretty stoked that I finished it. So, yeah. Did you finish yours? Did you participate? Do you like knitting socks? Do you dislike knitting socks? It's okay if you do. It's like really okay. Tell me that. Okay, that was that. We are coming to the end of the podcast, but before we completely close, I have a couple of favorites, because I did make a couple little purchases over the past couple weeks. When I saw this on her last podcast, I absolutely could not resist, because Amy Beth of the Fat Squirrel podcast has literally the best logo ever, in my opinion. I've always been so in love with her logo, so I bought one. She came out with enamel pins. This is a Fat Squirrel pin. It's an enamel pin. It's crazy sparkly, and it's a squirrel, and she's wearing glasses, and she's knitting, and she says, yo. It's just like my favorite thing ever. So I bought one. She's got these in her shop still, I'm sure, if you're interested. She also had some Elizabeth Zimmerman enamel pins made, which are awesome as well. I just love it so much. And this is like, I'm just going to show you again. It is the sparkliest enamel pin I've ever seen. And that, I mean, that's exactly what I want in everything in life. So the other thing I bought is this. I have always wanted this book. It is 55 Christmas Balls to Knit by Arnie and Carlos. I've always wanted this book, and I finally bought it just a few days ago, just in time to not have time to knit a Christmas bauble for Christmas, but it's okay. So if you don't subscribe to their YouTube channel, you absolutely should. That's Arnie and Carlos. And I think like a week ago or so, they put out a video of one of them knitting one of these Christmas baubles and them just like talking about it. And it just start to finish, knitting one whole Christmas bauble. And it was so inspiring, and I just like bought the book right then. So it came a few days ago, and I've looked through the whole thing, and I adore it. So this is just like, they kind of give you a standard formula for their Christmas baubles. They're just balls, colorwork balls that you hang on a tree or do whatever you want with. And it's just all the variations on the different patterns that you can do. Some are traditional, some are a little more modern. I love their heart chapter where there's a bunch of different hearts you can do. So I am so excited about this book. I don't know why I've never bought it before, but I'm a cheapskate, so I never have. But I finally got it, and I'm so excited about it. I could cast one on in time for Christmas, because as he showed in the podcast that they recorded, it takes like 1 hour to knit one of these things. So maybe I will. I don't know. I probably won't. But next year, hopefully, I will have a ton of these things, and I'm just so into this. I am so happy about this book. I'm so happy. It's a beautiful book too. Looking through it, I love it. And that's everything I bought. I have one more thing. I had a question in the Ask Me Anything thread. There is an Ask Me Anything thread in the Ravelry group. If you're interested, you can go check that out. And you can ask me a question if you want to. I'll answer it either in the thread or on the podcast. And these last couple weeks, I had a question from, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to try to pronounce a Ravelry name because I'm not sure if it's meant to be pronounceable or if it's just letters, but I'm just going to spell it. So it is MEMHS659 asked, do you go by Dynamite Trujillo because you were told dynamite comes in small packages as a child? That is a really adorable idea, and I love it, but no. I've actually never heard that before. The reason why I call myself Dynamite Trujillo is because of my initials. When I changed my name when I got married, my initials became TNT, and I thought that was really stupid. So let's go back. My maiden name is Dungan. Tommi Nick Dungan is my full name, has been my full name my whole life, and I have always been very attached to that name. It is like, it's me, it's who I am, it sounds good to me, and Tommi Nick Dungan, that's my name. And then when I got married, I was like, am I going to change my name? Am I going to keep my old name? I ended up deciding to change my name. And it took me a very long time to get used to my new name, which is now Tommi Nick Trujillo. To me at the time, when I first started thinking about it, it sounded really stupid, and I did not like it. Tommi Nick Trujillo did not have a flow to me. It sounded dumb. It sounded like a boy's name. I have a boy's name, I know that. But to me, Tommi Nick Dungan, because that's always been my name, sounded like a girl's name. So it took me a while to get used to it. And I knew instead of my initials being TND, like it used to be, they were going to be TNT. I was just like, this is going to be so stupid. My name's going to be stupid. My initials are going to be stupid. So I needed something to kind of own it. You know what I mean? And to me, I'm an introverted person, as many of us knitters are. I'm a very introverted person. I wouldn't call myself shy, but I'm not outgoing. I'm not very outwardly expressive in real life. And so adopting a name like Dynamite Trujillo was ridiculous to me. It was it was ridiculous. It did not reflect my personality really, but I thought it was really funny. So TNT is dynamite. Kind of. It's not exactly dynamite, but in the vernacular, yeah, it's dynamite. So my initials were TNT, which to me was dynamite, and my new last name was Trujillo. And so I thought it would be hilarious if I changed my email address and like my usernames and stuff to Dynamite Trio, to just like really like make myself just own it. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like, at first it was kind of like embarrassing, like, yeah, I'm Dynamite Trio. But you know, I think it got me to really own it after a little while, and now I'm really comfortable with it. I really like the handle Dynamite Trio. I still think it's hilarious. I think it's just a funny name. I think it's just so ridiculous that it's kind of funny. So that's why I'm Dynamite Trio, because of my initials, which I don't think are stupid anymore, and I don't think my name is stupid anymore. I've grown to really love it and get used to it, and now it feels natural to me. But I will at heart always be a Duncan. I'm actually the last Duncan of kind of my line that I know of. So, but anyway, yeah, that's why I'm Dynamite Trio. Thank you so much for asking. I loved that question. I thought it was a really good question, and it made me laugh. I loved it. So that is going to be it for this week. It is a few days until Christmas. If you do celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful time. I hope it's nice and relaxing and things aren't too crazy and stressful for you right now, because I know it can be for some people. But I hope you get some time to chill out and do what you love to do, whatever that may be. I am going to spend this next weekend doing a bunch of baking and tamale making. We are going to have my in-laws and their family over to our house for Christmas, and I'm going to be making tamales. So the Christmas Eve, I'm going to spend the day, me and my husband, making tamales, and I love making tamales. I think I mentioned this in the past. I am half Mexican and raised in a Mexican household, so my food heritage is deeply Mexican. I love cooking Mexican food, and tamales are a favorite of mine. And they're a little involved, and people are a little scared of them sometimes, but they're really pretty dang easy. And I go as far as making my masa, which is the kind of the corn dough that's inside the tamales around the filling, from scratch, from like actual corn. And it's really not that hard, but that's going to be super fun. I'm excited about that. I'm going to make homemade cinnamon rolls the night before so that I can bake those on Christmas morning. And I'm going to make some cookies, and I think that's it. Beans and rice to go with the tamales. Salsa, guacamole, stuff like that. And yeah, so I'm excited. I have a week and a half off of work. I've never been more excited about anything in my whole life. I love getting time off work. So this whole next week, today is Friday. Next week, the week after Christmas, I do not have to go to work at all. And then the 2 days into the next week, I don't have to go either. I am taking a little bit of a break from Moonstone Dyeworks as well. There are no more shop updates this year. There are still a couple things left in the shop. If you're interested, there's some frostbite left, and that's going to be available until it's gone. And then I will do my first shop update either the first or second week of January. I'm not sure yet, but I will let you know. So anyway, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for joining me during this holiday episode of Squirrel Pie Productions. I hope you have a fantastic end of the year. I hope you had a great solstice and a good Christmas, and I hope you had a happy Hanukkah and just a great winter. Happy winter. I will see you guys next time. Have fun and stay awesome. Bye, guys.